Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Right, well, I feel welcome. Dit is mijn home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
This season for me was never about winning a trophy. If we got top 4, that's good enough return on investment. For me, it was about the rebuild. To watch Erik ten Hag, what he's all about and won his ball. And we're all waxing lyrical about Erik ten Hag, so please don't blame Erik ten Hag for the mistakes today. We are moving forward. We're also looking to get new owners in, to back the manager, to give us the right funds so Erik ten Hag can start painting his Picasso. Obviously, he started fresh with a blank piece of canvas. He tried many combinations. He slapped in paints. He did some brush strokes everywhere. He saw what was mixing good and what was not. And suddenly, today, he saw that some paint on that painting was falling off and was not worth keeping on that canvas. Harry Maguire needs to go, according to my opinion. I had enough. I had enough of certain players that are down tooling and not playing for the club. They're simply not good enough. The drop-off is huge. It's huge. We need to have a massive squad depth in a way that if somebody's injured, the level of quality next to that person that's injured is good enough. It's almost competing toe-to-toe with that person that's injured, if you know what I mean. So what should we do in this summer transfer window? Who should go? According to my opinion, there's a lot of players that have to look themselves in the mirror, to be honest. People might argue that, hey, we played 3 games a week since December. Yeah, it's fine. Fatigue injuries do happen. But again, it comes down to the squad depth, right? I wouldn't say to go in and blame Erik ten Hag. I would say to blame the Glazers, in a way. I know it's an excuse, but Erik ten Hag wasn't backed in the January window. We got a loanee of Sabitzer, who's been okay. Could it be? It's a good signing if we can keep him for 20 million as a squad player. But Weghorst, on the other hand, can't finish his dinner. Thank you for your loyal service, but you also have to go in this summer. That's my honest opinion. For me, it is like being sponsored or watching Men in Black. You just, a fair accident, take this rod, press the blink button, and forget about what happened today. But we can't. We have to learn from our mistakes. Like the 7-up against Liverpool. Where do we go from here? Big questions needs to be asked, according to my opinion. It's hard, people, but you know, if we look at the overall squad, let's say, who should we keep and who should we sell, right? Marcus Rashford will stay 100%. Anthony Santos had a better period. He's kind of improved as the season has progressed. I rate him highly. Anthony was actually the one out of all of them bunch that actually put in a shift, trying to make something to happen. Matthias Sabitzer looked a little bit lost today, but then he just came back from an injury as well. Martinez, injured. Harry Maguire, I'm sorry, you gotta go in this summer. You gotta be on the chopping block, and I'm saying this with conviction. I'm 100% convinced that Harry will be the one that goes. Why am I saying so? Well, you can clearly see on his playing time, he hasn't been given much playing time in Manchester United shirt, and for some reason, the communication between Harry Maguire and the backline does not work. There is a broken link of communication, even with De Gea. We've seen it numerous time and time again. Then whenever he's playing, there's some certain insecurity. I find it sad because the Harry that I knew that was playing for Leicester and plays for England is a totally different Harry than we had today. It feels like we bought the pig in the bag, and the pig just stank up the whole place when he came to Carrington. Rantly speaking, Casemiro, what a god, what a performer. Totally transferred the team. Bruno Fernandes, I feel that people need to lay down on a little bit of the criticism about Bruno Fernandes, who's been there in thick and thin, never missed the game, never had an injury. And today he had to sit it off unfairly because he had the second yellow. And we saw that today, Bruno Fernandes, we lost the game because of Bruno. He wasn't there. He was not there to spray the passes, to be that register. Some people call it Hollywood passes. Some people say he might pay off. He's a risk, is a calamity. But surely when Bruno plays, we actually have some service. Because it don't matter if you have fast wingers and tricky wingers like Dos Santos, like Martial, like Rashford, if you ain't gonna get any service. Alejandro Garnacho, for me, is the one that will take on the reins, because we need to talk about Jadon Sancho as well. I think for me, I've been patient enough, but 2 years without Jadon Sancho hitting his peaks, I think that leaves a question mark. Will he be on the chopping block in the summer? Will we cash in? Is Jadon Sancho the player that we thought we bought? I don't know yet. I'm not convinced. I'm not really convinced. Weghorst, 100%, will not stay in the summer, according to my opinion. De Gea had a stinker today. I backed De Gea in thick and thin. He's been our club legend. He saved us so many times. But today, he was not at the races. I would say that nobody was at the races. Martial, I think the jury's out. I love Anthony Martial, don't get me wrong. He came there as a teenager at the club at age 17, but Martial, his injury record simply doesn't add up. Some people call it cheese string hamstrings. Some people call it laziness. But I just don't think that he's fit enough to stay at the club. I think it's time to look for a better striker, or at least keep him as a number 2 choice. But the question begs, will he accept it? Because we've seen Anthony Martial, as soon as he's got some competition, he's down tooling and sulking and not hitting his peaks. Now, Facundo Pellistri, on the other hand, is something very, very exciting for the future. But he hasn't seen much game time. Should we borrow him? Should we let him on the loan? 100%, I think so. Raphael Varane as well. God, what a defender, what a Rolls Royce. But also, we need to look at the market to bring in a replacement as well for Raphael Varane. Somebody at his level. Because as soon as he's injured and missing, that drop-off is huge. I like Victor Lindelof. But Victor Lindelof is not the centre-back ilk of Raphael Varane. But I'd rather keep Victor Lindelof and ship off Harry Maguire, to be honest. Fred, maybe keep, maybe sell. Fred is a good fringe player, according to my opinion. It's good to throw in the second half. Luke Shaw definitely stays. Kobe Mainoo, youngster, still to be embedded in next season. It's too early, right? Wan-Bissaka, for me, well, the jury was out in January. Everyone wanted to get rid of Wan-Bissaka. But Wan-Bissaka has turned it around this season. I think Wan-Bissaka is good to be kept as a right back. But we need to get in more quality. We need to get in, I don't know, just give me any name that you can think of. Some people call him Jeremy Frimpong. I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments below, who do you like to bring in as a right back. Dalot, I like Dalot. 100% I like Dalot. But he's still not there yet. Is he the answer? Yeah, he's very good in going forwards and improving. He's an athlete. He's got mentality. Yeah, he will stay. Tyrone Malacia, what a bargain. We bought him for what? 13 million euros. He's definitely staying, right? As a backup to Luke Shaw. Scott McTominay, on the other hand, I think it's time to cash in on Scott. 27, 28. He still feels like he's one of the youngsters, right? But Scott needs to go as well. If we can get 25, 30 in the summer, let him go. 100%, 100%. Anthony Alanga, I don't see any reason. I know, I love you. You're Swedish. I'm Swedish too, by the way. I would love you to go on a loan or be sold, right? But if you stay here in the first team, you're just perishing. You're not developing. Donny van der Beek, on the other hand, has been so misfortune under United's career with injuries and not being utilized. And why did we buy him for 35 million back under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? If you're not going to keep Donny van der Beek, at least sell him back to Ajax. But I think that Erik ten Hag likes Donny, and if he's not back from his injury, we cannot sell him anyway. So maybe there'll be a chance for Donny next season. Brandon Williams, on the other hand, has to go as well. Another player that's not getting a sniff in the first team. Another deadwood, according to my opinion. Victor Lindelof, we already mentioned. I will keep Victor Lindelof for sure. The rest is youngsters, keepers, subs that I don't really know. But another one that I think should come in as well, according to my opinion, in next season. Guess who? I'm sure a lot of people are not going to like this, but technically speaking, Mason Greenwood is still on the cards, is still on the payroll of Manchester United. I know there's a lot of controversial in the fan base. I know people are talking that I would never support him back. I know there's a female section, but you know, he's technically still an employee of Manchester United, and there might be a chance for him to return. I am personally conflicted over this. I think he's a fantastic striker, and barring that the reports are saying that they are back together again and she's pregnant, expecting a child, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I should talk about it. It feels like a taboo, so therefore I'm not going to even mention further. But Mason Greenwood is definitely a talent that could do something for Erik ten Hag. But we will see that in the summer what will happen. There's been a few good players that's been ripping up trees. We're talking about Amad Diallo at Sunderland. But that's for next season, right? How do we move from here? Where do we go from here now? All right. We're clearly out of this competition. We won a silverware. That's good, because we haven't won a silverware for 6 years. So we actually overachieved. But this season for me was never about winning a trophy. If we got top 4, that's good enough return on investment. For me, it was about the rebuild, to watch Erik ten Hag, what he's all about and won his ball. And we're all waxing lyrical about Erik ten Hag, so please don't blame Erik ten Hag for the mistakes today. We are moving forward. We're also looking to get new owners in, to back the manager, to give us the right funds, so Erik ten Hag can start painting his Picasso. Obviously, he started fresh with a blank piece of canvas. He tried many combinations. He slapped in paints. He did some brush strokes everywhere. He saw what was mixing good and what was not. And suddenly, today, he saw that some paint on that painting was falling off and was not worth keeping on that canvas. Sunday is very, very important, as we're playing at Wembley. It's a neutral ground for both Brighton and Manchester United. Will the players bounce back? We tend to have a tendency to do so whenever we gone on a brain fart loss. I just hope that this is the case. I really do. It's never easy to do a match reaction show when we lose, but I owe it to the fan base, and I owe it to myself, and I owe it to my heart as well. Because win, lose, draw, this is my club. This is what I love, and I want us to win again. I hope we will bounce back on Sunday. It's Mick Ruby, Mufc Realist TV, signing up. Please be nice to each other on social. Bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.